All right, we are live, everybody. Welcome to the broadcast from Mexico to New Zealand. And I lost Michelle.
Hello.
Hey, you're back.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
You've disappeared as well. Oh my goodness, this is not our day.
This is like internet is really acting up somewhere. Oh my goodness. But we're here live. Let's take it for all we can. Today is Michelle Anderson Day, and I was so looking forward to interview you, Michelle, because for over a year I've been watching you, how you've completely transformed, and you're this amazing leader in our industry. You know, you've been able to make $10,000 in the first month online, have breakthroughs, and you're still transforming up until this day. And I just had to get on and just say hi and ask you some questions, if that's okay.
Oh, absolutely. And thank you so much for the lovely introduction. It's great to be here.
Great. You know, I wanted to ask a really quick question. That's like a fun question, just to break the ice a little bit. Please tell me, why does everybody call each other Kiwis in New Zealand? I don't understand what that is all about.
Our national bird is a kiwi bird. So it's a small bird. It doesn't fly, has a really long beak, and it's an endangered bird, so that's called a kiwi. It's nocturnal, so it comes out at night, and it actually lays the largest egg for the size of the bird. So the egg is about this big, and a kiwi is only a little bit bigger than a chicken. So that's why we're called Kiwis.
All right. Okay, now I know, because I said, hey, all these Kiwis, I want to be one, but you have to be from New Zealand.
You do.
Okay. All right. You know, I want to get to the serious things now. And the thing is that, you know, I was wondering if you can take me back to where you began, before you had your breakthrough, where you were at before the $10,000 first month, and what brought you to that moment where you had all that success. Can you please just go into it for us and explain to us, for all those who are wanting to get their breakthrough today?
Yeah, for sure. So I'll try to keep it as succinct as possible. So I actually started online 3 years ago, and my husband had lost his job due to an illness, and he was actually without work for 6 months. So we very quickly realized that we couldn't afford to live off the welfare check. And, you know, we had a mortgage, and with that we had all the bills that come with, and we were also in the middle of renovations. And we ended up selling our house so we could cover our bills. Went overseas on a one-way ticket, and we were going to be living this fabulous lifestyle of working online, blogging our way to riches. But what happened was that I really struggled to create an income. I was doing the work, and to cut another long story short, we ended up creating more debt. So we became in a broke situation, and came back to New Zealand. I actually separated from my husband at the time, came back to New Zealand, and I spent 3 months living on the sofa bed of my parents' house. Now, I left home when I was 17, and here I was, 43, now living back with my parents with my 2 boys. And you know, that was quite a bitter pill to swallow, and I wasn't ready to give up on my business. I could see the potential, and I wanted to be at home with my children. But then on the other hand, I had, you know, well-meaning friends and family were saying, you know, when are you going to stop living in fantasy land, give up, get yourself a real job, put your kids in daycare and before and after school care. And I was already sad, and then I got mad, and I went for a walk And I broke down in tears. And I realized really in that moment that I had to take responsibility for my life and for the decisions that I had made. So yes, I was broke financially, but what I didn't realize, it wasn't until I connected with Millionaire Mentor, was that I also had a broke mentality or a lack mentality. So I was always worried, where was that next dollar coming from? And that totally held me back. So that was my breakthrough moment, taking responsibility and realizing that I do not need to be broke anymore, financially and within here.
Right, in here. I think it's important for people to stop and take that in and think about it. If they're not successful, like, it's easy for people to say, oh, it's this person's fault, that person, right? To blame the outside. But if you really do what you're saying and look inside and then not stay down, realize maybe you're not at a good place, but not stay down, but then rise up and get that strength. Is that what you're saying? You had all that power that came and it was always in you, right?
Oh, exactly. I was really going through a period of not loving myself, not realizing my self-worth. And it wasn't until it was pointed out to me. I thought I was, a strong person, but obviously there were many areas that were holding me back until I started working on myself and personal development, because I wasn't doing personal development. I was like, that's really woo-woo. I'm perfectly okay as I am. And in all honesty, I wasn't. So until I started reading empowering books, listening to inspirational YouTube, Tony Robbins, those motivational videos, meditation, affirmations, proclamations, the list goes on. Then things were able to turn around for me. And I was probably practicing that for about 2 months. And then I had my first $10,000 month. And I was like, whoa, this shit works. Excuse me. And it's something that I still keep doing. Yeah.
Yes, that's awesome. So you had the online mentors, like the general mentors that everybody has, right? You have access to, and then you had yourself some special mentors that like spoke to you, personally and one-on-one kind of thing, or?
Yes, absolutely. So I mean, it's great to be listening to mentors like Tony Robbins, for example, or Marie Forleo, if you're a woman who listens to her. I mean, they're very inspiring. But to actually have a millionaire mentor who's been in the industry for 26 years, has learnt the skills, made the mistakes, so we don't have to, and to be able to reach out to him and say, hey, this is where I'm at, and he's very quick to right, drop your ego, be coachable and follow the formula. Because I was very much a person, maybe it's the New Zealand thing, I wanted to reinvent the wheel because I had a better way. And that doesn't work. You need to learn the ropes first, follow what's being taught, and then you can, once you've established and you're getting that income in, then you can start to go off on your own path of creativity, I guess.
Oh my goodness, you just answered some questions for me right there, because I have that personality, and I think a lot of people do, where you're an entrepreneur, you're doing your own business, and you're going off of your own creativity. A lot of us are so creative, and we have all these ideas. I'm like number one for, I have all these ideas. But you're saying the key is get the mentor, listen to everything they're saying, and do it. And then when you have that established foundation, then you can start building your brand, because you have a massive brand right now. And I was going to ask you about that. When do you start to do that? And how do you start to do that, So
yeah, it's I think the key that a lot of people don't realize when they start a business is that we want to target everyone, and in fact we target nobody. So it's really key to find out, work out who is your ideal client, who is your avatar. And I remember being asked that question, and I was like, avatar, like the movie? Like, I don't know, what's my movie character? I have no idea. I was just like totally clueless. And she just laughed at me and said, "You're so funny." But I didn't get her question. And normally your ideal client is probably looking at you in the mirror every single day. It's probably yourself that you want to work with. And, for me, I want to work with mums who are interested in personal development, who want to be able to, work at home instead of going back to a 9-to-5 job and not having to put your kids in daycare and after school care programs, for example. And they'd probably be my age, they'd be in the early 40s, mid 30s to mid 40s. And, we know that there's something bigger than us that, we're here to serve, and there's more to life than the school gate. Our life doesn't need to stop at the school gate. That, there is so much more, and to be able to tap into our inner power and just go for it. But awesome. Back to branding. So it's actually firstly find your avatar, and then you'll work out, your brand, like your name. I was the Adventurous Andersons because we were a traveling family. Then I was Mission to Aspire. And then just recently I've rebranded, hopefully for the last time, Digital Divas Down Under. And digital being, working online and helping other women leverage the internet to be able to create an income. And Diva, not in the Mariah Carey sense of the way, but more Beyonce song, that Diva is a version of a female hustler. We want to go for something bigger than us, bigger than ourselves, to create that financial freedom so we can serve more people. And down under, because, I live in New Zealand, and in all honesty, New Zealanders and Australians, we tend to think a little bit differently than people in the Northern Hemisphere. So to get that understanding, I think, is really important.
That's awesome. Okay, so it's good you get even more clear as you've gone on this year, and every year you're really even more clear, more defined. You got set up in that first month, and I want to talk about that first month as far as like building that momentum. And I know a lot of people that are on here, even watching the recorded, are thinking, okay, I'm at rock bottom. I have my why. I'm ready to get in with millionaire mentors, and I'm going to listen, and I'm going to do everything that they say. So how did you get that lift off? What kind of things, because people think, oh, she got 10,000. You know what? That's just easy for her to say. And, but behind the scenes, there is work to be done. Could you tell me a little bit about what you needed to do every day? Not necessarily all the details, but how did you keep consistent? How did you build that lift off to get that kind of money in 1 month?
Very good question. It truly helps to have a mentor who's in your court, who is encouraging you, who's offering you that support. And he said, just follow what I do. So I did. He put a post out on Facebook, and I just copied it. I just put it into my own words, added my own picture. And when people started to interact with the post, liking and commenting, I was then connecting with them and building rapport. And it's not something that I'd ever done before. I'd heard about Facebook chat, but I never understood that, it's really important to build rapport with people as opposed to pitching your product. Mm-hmm. It's not about the features and benefits. So all I did was just follow what he said, and, put up inspirational posts, educational posts, learning something and then implementing it, putting it in your own words, just like you're doing. You learn to do Facebook Live videos, and then, you show people this is how you do Facebook Live videos. We're always learning and growing, and
yes,
and it just evolved. It just evolved from there, and it's important to reach out to new people every single day. Finding where do your audience hang out, because I'm wanting to work with mums, you'd find me more in personal development groups where mums could be hanging out. You're not going to find me in a car club Facebook group because that's not my ideal customer. So it's just working out, where do you hang out? What social media platform are they on? And focus on one platform. Is it Facebook? Is it Instagram? I do a lot of my work now on Instagram. Maybe it's Pinterest. Or if you're after more corporate clients, perhaps they're on LinkedIn. So where do they hang out? And that's where you hang out and build your business.
That is brilliant. That is awesome. A lot of people, too, I've seen that they have just a small amount of friends and they're just talking on their own Facebook page, right? And they're maybe putting links or maybe putting their products and stuff like that, and wondering how come nobody's buying? How come nobody's joining me? Because you have to get in the right groups and go, like you said, where they're hanging out. That's brilliant. Awesome. Okay. So, you also, another way that you talk to clients, possible future clients, is you've made a Facebook group, right? Yes. And it's targeting those people that you want to help, right? Or can you tell me about how you do Facebook groups and what people that are listening online, how they could leverage that for themselves?
Yeah, absolutely. So I just created a group called Digital Divas Down Under. So when I'm talking to people online, and do they have a Facebook group themselves, or if they're interested in knowing more about being a digital diva, then they can connect with me on my Facebook group, because that's where I'll put business tips or Instagram tips or motivation, or where they can ask questions. So it's a nice personal, I guess you could call it like a holding platform. So people who are interested in knowing more, but they're not ready just yet to delve into the world of online marketing, but they just want to gradually educate themselves.
And they're also learning more about you, because nobody just joins someone off of your first chat. That's very, very rare. And
absolutely. And it's so key to build that like, know, and trust factor. And one of the ways you can do that is Facebook Live. So I admire you because you're doing it, and I've only ever done a few Facebook Lives in my life. But creating that like, know, and trust factor, because once people get to know you, like you, and trust you, they're more likely to buy from you. So if you're wanting to build a business online, it's so important not to just be putting your posts out on Facebook, but you want to be showing your face. You want to be sharing your voice. And you can do that very easily also in a Facebook group and a business page.
That is awesome. Oh, Michelle, so now I want to know, what are you doing now? What is your 2016, what are we in, 17? 2017? Help me.
Yeah, 2017. Oh gosh, this year's been really amazing, because I've started doing some workshops in my local town, different interviews with international platforms, and I'm still working online in affiliate marketing, but I also have created my own product, which is an Instagram course. And, you know, had you asked me a year ago, like, Michelle, why don't you create an Instagram course? I was like, no. I was very happy to sit on the fence, you know. And now I know quite a lot about Instagram. I am going to learn how to create a course. And I said to my husband the other day, this whole online business is like getting a university degree. Like, you spend 3 years at university, you invest a lot of money, you have a student loan, but what's beneficial about working online is you can also earn while you learn, and you just come out with this amazing skill set on business tools and also personal development tools. So it's just been an amazing ride, and it's just looking so exciting. So excited.
Well, I know I'm going to check out your Instagram course for sure. And, you know, I want to put in your Facebook group in the comment section or up in the description after we're done, to make sure that everybody, you know, can keep following you and connecting with you as well, because, you know, there's a lot of people out there, and we need more people like you that is helping show the way, you know. And I just want to encourage everybody who's watching live and watching the recording is, Michelle is a real person. You know, you can see here that she's a real person, and she had her journey, and she had her difficulties, and she had her moments where she had breakthroughs, and she is still working at it. And that mindset, you can hear it today, guys, of how she just looks at everything like, this is the journey, this is my investment, I'm growing. And that's the same thing with all of you guys here today too. Never think that any part of your journey wasn't supposed to happen, because it was. You know, it builds you and grows you, and you're learning all of these things, and you are becoming who you truly want to be, you know, just by coming on to these live interviews and connecting with the mentors and talking with people online. You're growing every single day. So I just wanted to encourage everyone to keep going on that journey for freedom, you know, keep interacting with people and keep learning, and don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to look yourself in the mirror and say, what can I do to launch into that life that I want to have for myself, you know?
Absolutely. I like to say, you know, we're so hard on ourselves. We are our biggest critic. And, you know, I have my down days as well, like, you know, everybody. And as long as I look back and go, oh my God, I have come so far. Considering when I started working online, I wasn't even using social media except the odd Facebook post. Had no idea what Instagram was or YouTube, you know, to shooting videos. But where I have come to now, you know, 3 years later, and it's been an amazing journey, and it's had its ups and downs. But just look back at what you didn't know and what you know now, and the only way is forward. Just don't quit. Don't give up on your dream. Yeah,
that's right. All right, that's awesome. Michelle, one fun thing I want to add to let people into your world a little bit is what is, you know, it's just like Barbara Walters, okay? I like to have fun on my interviews. Barbara Walters always asks, you know her, right? She always asks people those questions back in, I think, the 80s, where she'd get the stars online and it would make them cry, you know? I'm not going to do that today. I'm not going to ask a question that's going to make you cry. But I want to ask you a question. What is something super unique about you that nobody knows, that might be something like, you know, a pastime or something that you do for fun that nobody knows about? Maybe anything you want to share.
I will. I used to do burlesque dancing.
What?
I used to be a burlesque dancer.
A burlesque dancer?
Burlesque.
What is that?
burlesque is, oh, how do you explain it? So burlesque is a dance where you pretty much strip, but not naked. Dita Von Tez, if you know Dita Von Tez is a burlesque dancer.
Okay.
So it's I did a stage show once, and I only do these things once, once if I get on stage, so I got up on stage and I danced to Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend by Marilyn Monroe.
What?
And that's what I did. I did that in front of an audience. It's all very clean. It's a little bit risque. And I did that after I had my first child because, we women have body confidence issues, and I just wanted to put myself out there. So I do odd things like that. Like I've tap danced before, I've belly danced, burlesque danced. I've just dyed my hair blue, and I have just signed up to do sailing lessons because I've always wanted to sail. So next week I start sailing lessons. So I like to do things that are a little bit out of the ordinary. Yeah.
I love that. I absolutely love that. You would not think that, Michelle, about you. But man, that is so fun. Awesome.
It is fun. It is. Yeah.
Good. And that's what life is all about. You know what I mean? Like you work hard and you play hard. You get to do that.
Oh, absolutely. I'm just determined to, slide into my gravestone. Maybe not slide into my grave, maybe not so gracefully, but I would have accomplished quite a few unusual things. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Michelle. I just am so glad that we finally got together and that you took your precious time today to talk to me and everybody in Facebook land. I appreciate that so much. And
my pleasure. It's wonderful to see you where you have come as well. So I'm very proud.
Thank you. All right. Well, you have the rest of the day to yourself. Have fun, and we will talk soon. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you,
All right.
Michelle.
See you later.
Bye.